Pete and Ginny go to lunch with Kate and James. Ginny hopes that seeing cute little Henry will change Pete's mind about having kids, but nope, he's more interested in their fish tank. Ginny feels bummed watching Kate and James share love and responsibilities while her own husband, Pete, remains clueless. On the way home, they argue. Ginny wishes she had a happy, loving family like Kate's while Pete just wants to be Pete. Meanwhile, little John shows up at Millshill with his girlfriend and talks down to Emma, bragging that she played hard to get when she's just a salesperson. Emma gets her revenge by upselling tons of outfits to his girlfriend, leaving little John's wallet crying. Pete's brother, Dave, who drives for Kate and James, hears about Ginny's pregnancy from them and immediately spills the news to their mom, hoping to score some pocket money. Later, Kate and James visit Mrs. Wang to discuss getting Henry into a preschool. The catch? They have to fund a yearly fireworks show. James is irked by the absurdity, but Kate manages to play nice and seal the deal. On Henry's first day, Kate meets Karen, the PTA queen bee. Karen scolds Kate for not bringing homemade cupcakes. Apparently, it's tradition for new students. Kate coolly says she'll bring them by lunchtime, and when Karen finds out Kate lives in the fancy neighborhood, her attitude does a 180. She quickly adds her to the parents group chat, one with the teacher and one without. Drama, Kate returns with flawless cupcakes, impressing Karen. But things take a turn at the school's food festival when a classmate, Tom, has a seizure. Karen uses this as an excuse to rally parents to push Tom out of school, claiming he's a bad influence. Kate and James are disgusted by Karen's discrimination. Although both she and Henry were scared, Kate believes they should help Tom, not shun him. She explains this to Henry, saying Tom's seizures are only dangerous to himself, and discrimination is wrong. Kate eventually stands up to Karen and defends Tom's family, getting support from other parents. Thanks to her, Tom doesn't have to leave school. The next day, Dave informs Pete and Ginny that their mom now knows about Ginny's pregnancy. Things just got more complicated, as Grandma definitely won't take it well if anything happens to the baby. Karen, being her usual self, takes another jab at Kate at school, calling her a low-EQ stay-at-home mom and even threatening to make Henry's life at school hard. Kate ignores her stupid yapping. But then, the principal calls Kate in to ask her to join the PTA, making Karen feel threatened and worried Kate will steal her spotlight. Back at Millshill, a middle-aged man buys a bunch of clothes and then asks Emma out, handing her his loyalty points receipt, thinking she'd be impressed. Emma politely declines both and calls him out for having a wedding band in his pocket. The guy storms off, offended, but Emma couldn't care less and goes right back to work. Kate buys 2 tennis tickets for Ginny and Pete, hoping it'll help Ginny patch things up with her husband. But mid-match, Pete gets a work call and leaves. Classic Pete, Ginny comes home solo and can't get in because, surprise, the door is still jammed. She's told Pete 1,000 times to fix it. She tries calling him, but no answer. With no other option, she sits outside, fuming. When Pete finally shows up, it's late, and Ginny is angry. They argue about his usual lack of attention. Then, she brings up the baby. This time, Pete opens up. His dad abandoned him and Dave when they were kids, and he grew up too fast. He's scared he won't be a good enough father. Meanwhile, James comes home drunk after a meeting with Mr. 1, a big client. Kate calls Dave to get the details and pieces together that James took Sarah with him to the meeting. Ginny's mom now knows about the pregnancy, thanks to Pete's mom. She's thrilled and immediately drags Ginny to a doctor's appointment. The whole family, even Pete, lights up when they see the ultrasound. That night, Ginny and her mom go on a baby shopping spree, while Pete moans about how small their house is for all the stuff. But later, he secretly stays up late to make room for the baby crib. At Miss Hill, Emma's in hot water when a $2,000 loyalty point receipt is found in her account, a big no-no for staff. Emma swears she didn't take it, but the evidence says otherwise. She realizes it's the same receipt the creepy customer tried to give her a few days ago. Emma tracks him down, begs him to come clean, but he laughs, saying she probably picked it up after he left. Desperate, Emma asks her boss for help, but she shuts her down, reminding her she's just a salesgirl and that customers come for the brand, not her. Brutal, then Kate gets the news that James fought with Mr. Wan, their biggest client. James is done with Wan, calling him a cheapskate who disrespects their high-end fireworks shows and pushes for cheap crap. Also, Wan forced James and Sarah to drink till they couldn't stand. James wants to cancel the contract. Kate tries to reason with him, knowing they need Wan, and offers to negotiate. James refuses, but Kate goes anyway. Wan tries to push her around too, ordering her to drink and making gross advances. But Kate snaps, curses him out, and walks out. She comes home, drunk, only to hear from the housekeeper that Henry was taken to Karen's kid's birthday party. It was mentioned in the group chat, but Kate was too busy and drunk to notice. Kate rushes to Karen's house, only to find Henry locked in a room, screaming and crying. Furious, but she remains calm and comforts Henry. then drags Karen and her minion into the same room and gives them a beatdown. When Karen threatens to sue, Kate calmly tells her she has evidence of Karen kidnapping Henry and stealing money from the school. Checkmate, Kate takes her son home. It's the first time in 30 years she's ever thrown hands. Later that night, James comes home after a football game with his friends. Kate doesn't say a word about her insane day. She just tells him that, since they dropped Mr. Wan, they're in for some tough times and may need to sell their brand new house. The next day, Emma's on the verge of being disciplined at the main office when Ginny, who happens to be there on an errand, hears Jack talking about Emma's situation. Luckily, Ginny remembers overhearing a woman at the mall using the loyalty receipt in Emma's name. She steps in just in time to clear Emma's name. They review the mall's CCTV footage and catch the real culprit, a woman who is Linda's friend. Even after getting caught, Linda shows zero remorse, claiming Emma's just lucky and doesn't deserve her success. When the manager asks Emma how she wants to handle it, she replies, "Fire her, just like you were about to do to me." Meanwhile, Pete's start to step up as a dad, paying more attention to Ginny. Emma invites Ginny over for dinner to thank her, and Ginny insists on repaying the 200 yuan she owes. During dinner, they bond over the fact that they're both about to turn 30 and become friends. Dave tells Kate how Sarah had been stirring the pot and egging James on during his drunken night with Juan. Realizing Sarah's been trouble all along, Kate fires her without hesitation. Determined to save their company, Kate jumps back into the business. She attends a gathering of ultra-rich women with Mrs. Wang, but quickly feels out of place when she sees everyone flaunting their Birkin bags. One woman's family even owns several amusement parks. And Kate thinks befriend her can bring huge business deal to their firework company. By the end of the event, they take a group photo, but when it's posted online, Kate's been cropped out. Ouch, still, Kate's not one to give up. She decides the first step to breaking into this elite circle is to get her own Birkin bag. Later, she hears that Karen's family is leaving the school and the PTA head spot is open. Perfect timing. Kate reaches out to Emma, through Ginny, for help securing the Birkin. Luckily, Emma has a friend at Hermes, and though it's a challenge, she manages to help Kate get the bag. Meanwhile, Ginny and Pete hit another bump. Ginny gets offered a promotion but turns it down, worried that the extra workload will affect her pregnancy. Pete, stressed about possibly losing his own job, snaps at Ginny for refusing the promotion, and they're not the only ones feeling the financial strain. Emma's landlord hikes her rent, blaming inflation, while Kate's struggling to justify spending over $40,000 on a Birkin bag, especially since their house is already mortgaged to save the company.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe and like for more videos like this.